Peti Washte Medaki. We'll call to order. 9:55. Ask the Madam Secretary to take the roll.
Bryce Underwoods. Will be late.
Yeah.
Steve Moran.
Oh.
Tim Knight Jr.
Here.
John Kessler.
Here.
Kenrick DePreez. Sharon Lee.
Here.
Mary Miller.
Here.
Kelsey Haskell.
Here.
Thad Rose.
Here.
Derek Bartlett.
Here.
Francine Hall.
Here.
Joel Brinksplenny. Absent Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
Here.
Dean DePreez. Thank you.
Council will ask for a morning prayer from Mr. Thompson. Allow me, Mr. Thompson. Council, we have one of our honorable elders here, Grandma Melda. At this time, we'll visit with Unchi. We'll ask her to, if she can, or she can sit back there if she wants to as well.
Okay. It's on now.
Put that up my nose.
It's on.
We'll recognize Grandma Melda. We'll give her the floor at this time. Glad you made it. Dayan Yahi.
Ready? Okay. I'm Nelson Carroll. Why? I just lost him here a few months ago. And it's been very hard, but I'm coming through okay, because I believe in the Lord. And I wanted to bring some messages from the spirit world, from Chief, what's his name? Oh yeah, Bigfoot. He's the one that died in that massacre and wounded me. He came to me and he said that when they were fleeing away from the army, he said that it was cold and really freezing and sick. Some of them were sick, but they wanted to get away, go to that chief down there, Chief Red Cloud, so he couldn't help protect them. On their way, some of them died because of the weather. And as he was telling me this, I couldn't help but cry to imagine our people have to live like that. Coming of the white man, they made us miserable. Even today, can't even go to our Black Hill because they have the attitude where they want us there. But they can't say it because it's still ours. And he said when they got near, they caught up with them, but they went down until Wounded Knee, and the Red Club was coming. When he seen that they had guns, a gun or however many, and they were mowing them down. And he said they took off the other way. And as they were dying in there, he said some got away, but Melvin's dad's mother, her name is Jenny, she's the only one in his family that got away with a baby on her back. And she lost a little boy because they shot at the baby on her back as she was fleeing. So she took the baby down and tried to cover up with snow and different twigs and stuff. She covered and then she just took off because they were still shooting that gun. And she got away. She was the only survivor in her family. And as she was telling this to me, I cried the whole time. Poor people can't live in peace. We still can't live in peace. But now he said, everybody is making money off of us all over Suffolk, trying to survive, having them walk around and stuff, whatever. He wants that to be stopped immediately. He said, why not? He said, because we're tired of it. We gotta relive. Every time they met, they bring that on in the war, to live what they went through. And that is horrible. So he told me that now they got their artifacts, pipes and whatnot, whatever. He wants them buried by his grave that he's laying in, so they can use them in the spirit world instead of burning them or putting them in museums, making money off of them. He wants them buried. And the people that are talking about it, about Wounded Knee, they should go to the government, he said, and get the survivors, the people that lost loved ones in there, get some money. And maybe this way we'll have that will be forgotten. They get money. Now that's the message he gave me, and he told me that he wants his stuff buried, like his pipe, so he can use it in the spirit world. Now, the majority of those people that are Indians from this reservation, not Pine Ridge. Now, just because they were buried on their land, they're trying to say that they have more say over them and also the stuff that they return. He said that survivors better wake up if they know that they have loved ones, and they better meet, get a big meeting together and demand that and get that done and let us rest in peace, he said. That's the one message there. Okay. The message from the second, from the spirit world, This is T confined wrist. I'm getting old. I'm 93, so my brain is kind of slow. What's the third one? Oh, full quill. Full quill. See, full quill. Who's the run in the international, who's the run Sundance with Cindy Key. He come to me and he told me that as he was talking, he was getting himself mad, and it's over the Black Hills. He wants the people, all 7 tribes that I forget what they call it. You guys should know. Anyway, he said to me immediately, as I'm sitting here, he said, because we want our Black Hills back. And he used this as an example that when we go into the motel or hotel, whatever you want to call them, he said, you have to get permission to sleep there one night, okay? Then you have to put your money on the table so you could take them out when they have. So they give you a room. You stay overnight. Next morning they have a sign on the door. If it's just one night, you have to leave there at a certain time, he said. If you don't, they kick you out. And that's where he really got mad. They took our Black Hill. They're still there, he said. They didn't even give us nothing. So it's time now to get that Black Hills back and get to meetings and get together. And then the bishops in White House, they know that belongs to the Indians. They have it on paper, because that I'm talking about, he went over there, he asked if they had any documentation to see if they had every right to be in Black Hill. They couldn't produce nothing. It still belonged to the hill. And that's one that he wants immediately by the leaders, the legislators, and the council, and the 7 council, to get together, to work on that, get the lawyers, and get the Black Hills. That's what he wants. That's from the spirit world. That's the 2 messages that I have. And they're very important messages because it concerns the people, man, woman, and child that are Indians. And it's very that you don't put it aside. Work on that. Tukasala Kampanka will help you get that going. Get your pipes out if you have any, and smoke it and get your guidance. This method I want to say. And third, I want to talk about is a request. These treaties, it's 1868, 1858, and those long treaties that our grandfathers made with the United States government. And one of them is housing. Our people are desperately needing housing. They live in trailer houses that you wouldn't put your dog in. No heat, indoor toilet. Tequila comes, la cotaje, dakle. So I see que when Saga who sat Saga when I left one cake, when she saw when yourself. When she yourself, Moscow could talk, who hadn't kept. That's them. To talk about, they don't honor them Swedish. They kicked my sister out because she married a white man. That's one of them in there. And that was Frank Lucino. Non-Indian. He was one of the drifters, as my mom called him, and came into this reservation. Got enrolled, gave him, sat one day and gave himself Indian blood, then became a chairman. Well, he called my sister in, getting in the Beatrice High Bear, so fourth in there. He said, "You're married to a white man?" Yeah, we have no business here on the reservation. I agreed till 5 o'clock to get off of this reservation with their husband and family. So she come home crying, told my sister Marcella, High Bear Minor, she said, "I gotta leave, Frank Lucian kicked me off the list." So call Mom. And they called me, so we came up. She gave most of her furniture away because she didn't have no man to. They did have a car to get them all for to haul them with her. She just took what she needed. Before 5, we helped her. We took her to Gettysburg. Luckily, he had a mother there. And so he went and told her. But she had extra train on Friday home, so she could stay there in the meantime. Well, he wanted to get away because my sister was just crying all the time. She had to live with a sick mom. Our mom was 80. She's in her 80s. And she's old and getting very, can't get along. So my sister Marcella took her in up here and took care of her till she died. Well, she got sick, my mom, because she lost her baby girl. She had to leave the bed and didn't know where to go. She was crying every day. We had to hold her hand and try to keep her from getting sick, but eventually she had to go into the hospital. And well, that was one. And we look at his background. He had his nanny, daughters, nieces, whatnot, all married white men. But they were okay. They could live on the land. They could get help from the tribe because jobs were hard to get back then, like it is now. And why is it that he's not, he got in there just to help himself? And it's getting that way again here. Melvin and I were right now, little cattle business. And I thought we were doing pretty good. Here along came, she's still here, she's a woman, blind or something like that. She really gave us all kinds of letters. we have to abide by them. We did. We have been. And she kept on, and pretty soon I don't know what happened. We had to move. So 116th Indian got in there. And you got to go by the Constitution. It says 1/4 to India. But I say less than 1/4 are guiding this reservation. And the Congress knew that we were first to be terminated, and us Indians will starve to death because we can't go anywhere. We're being ridiculed because we're Indian. We're dark. We're ugly, I guess, to them. And it's Saturday here on the left. I had to go to town. I might kicked out of Rob Gumby's store or something. Well, anyway, so we went housing. We put on our own land. And I have one, but it's all broken up because we induced no sin to that. And we have to have housing. I have to say that every morning I get up, I have nieces living in houses, condemned homes, trying to make a living. I want that, looked into housing out in the letters. They're renting land. They're not supposed to rent land. The government gives us land. We don't rent it in that treaty. And I'm getting too much of this time. So that.
Pilamia Popula Unchi, thank you for sharing those messages with us. And maybe you should, if she's able, maybe she can go to the meeting on Saturday at the Culture Center. Again, we thank you, Grandma Melda. We appreciate you, and I'm glad you made it up. And good to hear these things, these messages from our chiefs. Mr. Dupree's, who's next? Mr. Whittle, we'll give you the floor.
Good morning, Tribal Council. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to meet with the legislative body this morning. My concern today is back in December of 2023, we had our District Number 1 meeting. Pertaining to that meeting was a motion that I asked our district to support in reference to the security on Main Street here in Eagle Butte. Prior to that, and I neglected to mention when I presented this to, when our minutes came up, on December 5th, 2023, I visited with Kara Forber, the superintendent of the Eagle Butte Public School District 20-1 on this concern. And after visiting with Ms. Forber in person, Ms. Forber, her response to me was that this issue was a law enforcement issue. So I left it at that. Also in December, I visited with Mr. Festus Fisher on this issue. And he's a Cheyenne Igga Butte school board member. And I expressed my same concern as I did with Ms. Forbear. Mr. Fisher assured me that he would bring it up. It was fortunate that it was the same day I brought it up, it was a school board meeting. So I felt this issue was going in the right direction for the safety of everyone that is on that main street here in Igga Butte. The thing that bothers me is with this, in particular, Cheyenne Igga Butte, their school board meetings, to meet with them, you have to have a notification to that school board 1 month in advance. And you have to explain why you want to meet with that school board. And you're only afforded 15 minutes to express your concern within that time frame. I guess why I'm here is because the alarming issue is that this is a school issue because it involves children. The children are the ones walking from school. From the upper elementary, you'll see them. I pick up my takojas, you see them walk. And it shouldn't be that way. Those kids, they wait for the people who are in their vehicles to pass. Should be the other way around. We need to stop for them. Those crosswalks are posted by those crosswalkways. So the membership is not complying with the signs that the pedestrians have the right of way. The concern that I see when I pick up my takojas is the speeders. The speeders are right in front of the old tribal office building. Because of the length there, they're speeding there. And then they see that stop sign, so they have no choice but to stop. So the action on January 1st, 2024, Tribal Council referred this action from the district, my motion, to the school districts and to law enforcement. So why I'm here today is because what were the updates from Friday, February 2nd, 2024 Law and Order meeting? What were the updates on Monday, February 5th at 2 p.m. Law and Order meeting? I feel this is a vital concern. From time to time, we always say, let's be proactive. Let's be ahead of the issue at hand. And so I don't want nothing too bad happen to my immediate family. I don't want them to get run over, hit, killed. And at the same time, I'm looking out for every other kid that chooses to walk home or after school in hopes that they safely make it to their home to see their family another day. I know and I realize the committees that has a process, but at the same time, it could be dealt with sooner than wait for an action. So I guess that's my concern. And I know this action was also sent to the education agency, the upper elementary, Ms. Kara Forbear, the elementary, Darlene Brown, high school, Les Log, junior high, Michael Nakirvis. So I understand that this action was sent to them as well, but let's not wait for an accident to happen. Let's put the safety and priority first for the kids and everyone else, that adult that crosses those crosswalks. So I guess I apologize. I didn't even address who I was. My name is Jerron Widow. I reside in District 1. My family consists of, on my mother's side, Daniel Afredahawk Sr. and former Council District 3 Representative Angeline Afredahawk. On my dad's side is the late Mr. Edward Whittle, District 3 Council Representative of 30 plus years, and my grandmother Unchi Dalma, Counting Widow. For the record, those who don't know me, but I know everybody in the council chambers. So moving forward, I just want to know the updates of law and order. And I think Mr. Brings Plenty is the chair. If the committee members can also give me updates on what happened as this referral was directed to law enforcement.
Mr. Brinks-Plenty or members of the committee? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, too, when that came here, we discussed it here on the council floor as well. Law enforcement was advised of it, of the motion that was coming out of District 1. They would make those adjustments and then work with the school. That's what came of that when it came into, when it went to law, basically went to law and order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Widow, so at Law and Order, this was not on the agenda. We didn't get to finish the agenda, but our police officers were made aware of it. On Friday, the meeting, we listened to the public all day. We had to recess until Monday and Ms. Bowman was the one who responded to me verbally, and she did inform me that all of maintenance would be in their side-by-sides, and they would be handling traffic at the primary, high school, and junior high, which they have been, because I've witnessed it myself. My son is a junior high student. As for the upper elementary, I have not got a response on that and to who's taking care of the issues at that side of town. But I do know that our side up here the junior high side is being taken care of by maintenance. Thank you.
Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, Chairman, I think the Bureau and middle school and maybe the roads department would be the one, BIA and the roads, to do that, because the city paints those sidewalks. I mean, the crosswalks, definitely need them at the four-way stops. You know, and they were doing some work over here where they're throwing gravel on the hard copy. I mean, on the hard top, and the big problem is that over by where they shut off the BIA now, and that we're always having trouble on Willow Creek. On that spot, you guys know, across from Mini Mart, the old jail, that needs to probably have cement, like a blow-off cement. The Bureau gave us that back because, you know, there's always ours anyway, but I think it does involve road maintenance and plus the painting. It doesn't take them that long to paint, yellow. Chairman, so maybe the roads and BIA need to get in here. Maybe amend that motion to add BIA roads and our transportation department to see exactly when and when they can get that job done. It was dry, now it's getting wet, so they'll have to wait till it dries. But I think that's the proper ones to do it, because law enforcement will enforce it. But I'll make that motion, Chairman, to amend that, or a new motion or whatever, to add BIA roads in our transportation department. That'd be my motion.
You got a motion by Mr. Underwoods. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Moran. Comments or questions?
What's the motion?
What's the motion?
The motion is to add onto the previous motion to the BIA roads and our transportation regarding crosswalk painting crosswalks. And I'll add on to that spot over there that's pretty bad. I think if they use cement, at least give us an estimate what that's gonna cost. And over here, when they put the hard top on, it just goes away. So if they use cement, it's gonna stay there, those potholes. That'd be something, Chairman, that you could probably carry on. Because cement mix, 32 below, but we'll get better weather, it'll dry, 40 degrees. It's just below 32, below freezing, you can't pour cement. But putting dirt on it and the man hours they spent there, they could have painted all them crosswalks. Now those potholes are all, you know what I'm talking about? That road over here by the old family center.
Let's focus on this issue. Got a motion, a second to by Mr. Edwards and Mr. Moran, and it's to add on to the prior motion. I believe it was a referral to the committee to help with the crosswalks, roads, and BIA, and then that's a referral to law and order in the schools. So you want to make that a referral, Mr. Underwoods?
All right.
Second still there. Okay, it's a refer to law and order. All in favor, raise your hand. A 14 yes, 0 no, motion carries. Yeah. Yeah. BIA and CRST roads. Any other, Mr. Widow?
Thank you, Chairman. The second issue I have is I received a telephone call yesterday from a relative who resides in the rural Cherry Creek Community District 3. In the discussion that was held with the individual and I, the concern of the Zitankala Hall, the St. Joseph Church in Cherry Creek, south of the Cherry Creek community. The discussion pertained to the people in charge are trying to demolish the church, and another concern was that the church, they couldn't afford to pay for the utilities to keep them on monthly. I have history there in that church with my grandparents on the Afraid Hawk side and the Straight Head side. So as growing up, we had gatherings there. So there is, for me, there is memories I made there with my family who are no longer here. So with that being said, this probably will be a referral, but to a committee. But I'm asking council support that we not demolish this and keep it alive. We go there for grave decorations near that church. And if a department could maintain it, also maybe do an allocation to help pay for the water and the electricity for the Zitankla Hall, because recently there was a gathering there for Christmas. We had Christmas program there, and the issue was it was constantly getting broken into. So I'm just trying to save the church and to save the hall from it being torn down, and to keep it going with the utilities and the cost maintenance of the building, because it not only benefits the members, the community and the surrounding communities that may use it going forward as well. So that's my concern, to get direction on where this needs to go to save both buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Widow. Council, do you have any questions or concerns on this? Mr. in the Woods?
I didn't get that clear. Where's that building at? Is that the old flower hall on Cherkirk? I mean, not the old flower hall, but the blue one? They want to tear that down?
It's being suggested that it be torn down. And the other concern is the utilities. The church can't afford to pay the monthly utilities.
That's the richest church on the planet, man. Catholics. Sure, I don't see how they can do that. If there was a petition from the community, that would help, Ron. If you got like a petition and got most all the Cherokee to sign it, I'm pretty sure that would stop unless they're going to build a new one. But aren't they historic after 50 years? It might go under those, remember those buildings that over 50 years, they can be considered them, what do they call that anyway? Historic. If it's over 50 years, it could be considered a historic building. Maybe you could put that in your petition and take it around on there, then give it to the church leadership. Would meet. I don't know if they still meet, but that would be an organization to look at, that Ministerial Alliance, if they're still going, and bring it up to those guys too. They used to meet over here at the UCC or across the Catholic Church. That's where they used to meet. I don't know if they're still functioning, but if you could probably find out, The Ministerial Alliance. Oh, I should do.
Well, thank you, Mr. Widow, for coming in.
I just have one more quick issue. You can tie me if you want to. So I just want to thank you for the feedback, and I think more often I'm going to follow my motions, because that's good direction. And whether it's a good motion, bad motion, at least I made the effort to help the people. Some of the motions I make are not for me. Like I said, I advocate for those who don't have the courage, voice to come up. And so many times I get these messages, can you present this? Can you present that? But I think that's where the being able to speak comes from mainly my grandpa Edward Whittle, who sat years on this council. So, and I always remember the trips. We go back down to the country, and he'll tell me what happened, and so I miss that. I miss him dearly, and I know he did his purpose here on earth and sitting on this council. So, and I know he's still doing that work. He is in the spirit world and in heaven. So I appreciate that. And I just want to thank you guys for coming to agreement with the ARPA. I watched it when I got home, and I applaud each and every one of you that made the decision that you guys made. We all have a voice sitting here. We all have a purpose on this earth. So, and you guys all are here to advocate for the membership. And I know some people don't agree with you guys' decisions at times. I see it. But I always look at the positive outcome of what progress you guys make. So I thank each and every one of you for your time and your patience and rendering a decision yesterday to help the tribal membership with a distribution. In ending, I just want to leave with this note that really inspires me every day after I say my prayer and give thanks for another day that I'm here on earth. It goes, before you act, listen. Before you react, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you criticize, wait. Before you pray, forgive. And before you quit, try. So that really helps me every day as I go about my day. Going on 45 years on this earth, I try to always look at the positive outcome. How can we help our people? I'll probably remain in District 1. I'll still advocate for District 1. And not just because that's my district, but advocating for the less people who don't have the courage yet to come and address you guys and speak on their behalf. So it's a learning tool, and I hope we all get there and you'll see more the tribal membership here. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Mr. Riddle. Council, next we had is Mrs. Shad. Can you come up here, Mrs. Shad? You can just state your name for the record, and then we'll give you the floor.
Chairman, Cindy's requesting executive.
Motion by Mr. Walters for executive session, second by Ms. Lee. All in favor, raise your hand. We got 12 yes, 2 not voting, motion carries. Council will go into executive session at this time. We'll ask the members of the public to give us some time so we can have our executive session. Thank you. Council, we're back on record.
Chairman, motion?
10 yes, 2 not voting. Just to come out of executive session. Any action on the, Mr. Bartlett, go ahead.
Yeah, Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to have the election committee provide orientation to the policy board members regarding duties, professionalism, conduct, and process. That'll be my motion.
I'll second that if you could make all elected officials, not just the policy board.
Okay.
All elected officials. That means district officers too. And that's how it reads in the to get orientation to elected officials. That's what they are too. They're elected officials.
Yeah. Chairman, Mr. Brinkspani, did the election committee do orientation for the newly elected?
Okay, council only.
Okay, like the new board members that come in, did you guys provide orientation to some of these board members that we recently hired? Nothing? Yeah, Chairman, the issue that came up was the policy board, so just keep it at that. And council wants to change it or set up a date. Election board's welcome to do that, but Ms. Miller, you second that motion? Okay, Chairman, that's my motion. Is to have the
Can you bring
Policy
ordinance
board?
14 out?
grievance policy board. Mr. Moran? Personnel and policy board members. So that's to have the election committee provide orientation to the policy board members regarding duties, professionalism, conduct, and process. That's my motion.
Okay, Council, we had a motion by Mr. Bartlett for the election board to provide the training orientation for the grievance personnel policy board. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Whitepool. Comments, Mr. Brinkspani?
Just have a question for Representative Moran when he was sitting in as chair for the policy board. Did they provide a training for you as well?
No, that's what I said. Even back then, there was no training, no orientation. So, yeah.
Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods. Steve Moran.
Yes.
Tonight Jr.
Yes.
John Kessler. Kenrick DePreez. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller.
Yes.
Kelsey Haskell.
Yes.
Thad Rose.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Joel Brinkspani. Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
Yes.
$13 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a budget and finance meeting on January 17th. Members present were myself, Ms. Lee, Mr. Rose, Mr. Russo, Mr. Dupreez, Mr. Bartlett, Ms. Whitebull, Mr. Moran, Mr. Walters, Ms. Hall, and Mr. Kessler and Mr. Knife were excused for another meeting. Meeting was called to order at 1:12 p.m. Mr. Moran gave our prayer. Other in attendance were Mr. Keckler, Ms. Gunville, Alice Leclerc, our comptroller. First order of business was the request from K Clown. There was a motion by Representative Ms. Whitebull, second by Representative Ms. Lee, to pay $10,000 of other in-kind for attorney fees for K Clown for her legal claim against the Monument Health Center, pending supporting documentation. There was 8 yes, 1 no, 0 abstain. The motion carried. That'll be my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions, council members?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, good.
Mr. Treasurer, was that documentation ever provided? Nothing's been returned yet? Okay, so it'll just be pending documentation. Thank you for that.
Any other comments? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Ray Sindowitz, Steve Moran. Ted Knight Jr.
Yeah.
John Kessler. Absent Kenrick DePreez. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller. Yes. Kelsey Haskell.
No.
Thad Rose.
No.
Derek Bartlett.
Yes.
Francine Hall.
Yes.
Joe Bringsplenny. Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
Yes.
Ten yes, 2 no, 1 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a motion by Representative Miller Whitebull, second by Representative Hall, to approve the $66,052.64 for the Healing to Wellness Court program and use the ARPA court funds. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Lee. Mr. Bartlett?
Yeah,
Mr.
Chairman.
Woods?
Yeah, Chairman, it was reported at the Budget and Finance Committee that this program is only assisting 2 of our tribal members regarding addiction, whether it's alcohol or methamphetamine. I think they should be doing more with that amount of money for 2 employees. 2 brothers worked that program, and the Budget Committee supported this. I can't support this. They should be doing more for our membership with these addictions and providing that service. Thank you.
Okay, I got Mr. Underwoods and Mrs. Hall.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. How much is left in that account?
The ARPA court money has $1,114,000.
Chairman, Joe brought a good program in on diversion, and we got to talk with the prosecutor and the judge and children's judge. I was there with the elder, and they're really receptive into what Bob brought up at this meeting, using our ways to intervene on this meth and alcohol problem that we have that's very serious and deadly. Our ways will work, guaranteed. So just we talk up and involvement of the Wolakote peacemakers, which is passed, and we're not doing anything. So if these Wolakote peacemakers and elder council intervene in these cases, 10 to 17 and 18 to 24, but I think our ways is for everybody, you know. But we want to target them young ones, and we want them to learn those songs, learn who they are, learn how to pray, You know, learn to do a lot of things that they have potential and kind of open the brain up and build that brain up with all kind of stuff. You know, and it's going to work. Sounds like we need to get some monies behind it, and there's some monies here. And I don't know exactly. Derek said there's only 2 employees and only 2 people got services. I don't know about that, man. I think it should be an outreach too. A lot of our people have trouble coming here. They should probably have a van. You know, they should be able to go out and target these young guys and girls and bring them in. We got that 100 Society over there, Chairman. Have you went and checked that out yet? Vice Chairman, have you guys checked that out yet? 100 Horse Society, right? Remember the old ranch house cafe? They got it all except for the girls. So they challenged us men. What about you men? What about the boys? So we got to start doing things in our community. And these young guys have a lot of potential, you know. So, but our ways will work. So we need to mandate it, I think, you know. Or like we try to change the code of, really that's a code of conduct. It's not a code of ethics. And this body here adopted United States Code of Ethics, you know. Really, it's a code of conduct. If you talk about code of ethics, it's knowing what's good and bad. Those are ethics. So we should utilize that. Mandate nikaga hamblecha when they get in trouble. That it's mandatory that they go through that, and their families have to be involved. Because unless the parents are okay, you know, it's a double whammy on these young people. You know, if they're not getting that support at home, and then you know they're out here on the streets, you know, and usually they're having a real hard time, you know, and what committee would take that up? Budget or law and order or claims? I know that word mandate, but I think we need to do it. We need to mandate this.
Right, law and order.
I'll make that referral after this motion. After this motion.
She's doing a report though, so.
Okay.
We got a motion.
The point of order is right here, what I'm reading.
Is there any
What
more?
I'm saying.
Mrs. Hall?
Yeah, regarding that, that healing to wellness court, you know, their objectives and their overall goal is good. We, in the Law and Order Committee meeting, we did have a discussion with the judges, and it really starts with the judges to, when they sentence people, they, you know, we brought up the concern that they need to make it mandatory when they do the sentence. And so they are taking that under advisement from what I understand. So anyway, just to, you know, my colleague here, Mr. Bartlett, when we saw that, how many people they service and learned that it was voluntary, you know, we said, they're not gonna go. You know, if they've got a problem with addiction, you know, they're not gonna volunteer. And so we're going to need to help them along the way, and that's by making that mandatory. So I think, Mr. Chairman, I think if you could kind of maybe help us follow up with the judges to make sure that that happens. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Bartlett, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Chairman and executives and council, I think it's best if we're going to make this program work that it's mandatory and a simple motion coming out of Law and Order Committee after the minutes are presented, or even Ms. Haskell can present it after the minutes are presented, the Budget Committee minutes. But to me, something needs to be done because providing that amount of finance and funds to this program and only assisting 2 members of our tribe when we got about 100 people that are on this addiction with this methamphetamine, you know. We know, the council knows who's out there, who's doing this methamphetamine, who's doing it. It's not good. But poverty, again, is the key here. And jobs, you know, the discussion on jobs, we need to have job creation so people have something to do rather than just, you know, let's get the next high because, you know, I can't get my kids from DSS, or I can't get a house, or I can't get a job, I can't get a car. So these addictions come into play, you know, or let's walk over to Mini Mart. But Chairman, is there something we could do better than this? Because things get political at the tribal council, and I think the executives and your leadership with the administration can easily fix this, where it can assist mandatory maybe 50 to 60 tribal members instead of paying a lot of money to 2 brothers that are getting high pay. I mean, we got our detention staff at law enforcement that, you know, that they're barely making it with the wages that they got, and they're monitoring and assisting and taking phone calls and doing reports on many people that are coming in through the social detox or the adult detention, juvenile detention facilities. So, and you got these 2 individuals that are just monitoring 2 people, and their salaries are way up there, more than detention or law enforcement employees, staff, or dispatchers. You know, we can go on and on about the salaries, but I don't think it's fair that we're paying 2 people high salary. From my understanding, there's been more than 250 to 300,000 put into this program, and right now they're only monitoring 2 people, and they do the selection. So if we can do something with the courts, like my colleague Ms. Hall is stating that, you know, we do the mandatory through the courts and the judges and the system mandate that this Healing to Wellness take on 50 or 60 tribal members that need to be assisted, you know. So right now they're basically babysitting 2 people, you know, and they're getting high pay for that. So we need to do better in it. I can't support this funding right now until we come to the table and come up with a better plan. We don't even have a treatment facility.
Yeah.
So, but the tribe does have a banishment thing in place. So I think we got to balance things out right now. We're only assisting our members, 2 members, and we got a lot of people that are addicted that need that assistance. And tribal council's only option is to kick them off the res.
Yep.
So, thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, and that's all policy. We just change your policy, and you can get more clients into that court. Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods,
Wow.
Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ken Knight Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick Dupreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller,
Yes.
Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
No.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Brinksplenny, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson.
Twelve yes, 1 no, 0 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My next motion was by Representative Russo, second by Representative Moran, to approve immediate assistance of up to $5,000 to come out of the CRST other in-kind funds from a tribal council action dated August 17, 2023. Full reimbursement to CRST is contingent upon a settlement received by A. Red Bear. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Mr. Moran. Comments or questions, council members? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods, Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ted Knight Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick Dupreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller, Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Yes.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Brinksplenny, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My next motion was by Vice Chairman Walters to refer the request back to, motion by Representative Russo, second by Representative Walters, to refer the request back to the Personnel Policy Board for review with the CRST Comptroller Ellis Leclerc, and that was regarding Michelle Benoist. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
I think in-house, yeah.
Thank you. Motion by Vice Chairman Walters, second by Representative Lee, to reopen the Nutrition Center in the Cherry Creek community and include internet service at the Nutrition Center in Cherry Creek for District 3 to have meetings and utilize the internet. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods. Absent Steve Moran.
Yes.
Tim Knight Jr.
Yes.
John Kessler. Absent Kenrick DePreez. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller. Kelsey Haskell.
Yes.
Thad Rose.
Yes.
Derek Bartlett. Francine Hall. Yes. Joe Brings Plenty. Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Mrs. Haskell, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion is by Mr. Walters, second by Representative Mr. Russo, to refer to Education Department for Dr. Farley to draft a letter. This is also going to be in-house, but the letter that the grant schools allow the district to have their district meetings there at no cost. That could be an in-house motion. Agree?
Yes.
Thank you. Next motion is by Representative Russo, second by Vice Chairman Walters, to refer to the CRST treasurer to research how much it would cost to develop a CRST self-insurance and request the treasurer to present information to Budget and Finance. That is also in-house. I believe the treasurer is already working on that. Motion by Representative Rose, second by Representative Lee, to refer back to District 6 as a funding source has been identified for another purpose. That was regarding their housing. They wanted $80,000 for home repairs, and I believe Mr. Russo was taking that back to his district, so that will also be in-house. Motion by Representative Rose, second by Vice Chairman Walters, to refer motion for security for the LTM locations in Dupree, Takini, LaPlante, back to Credco. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. That'll be my motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions, council members? It's a referral to Credco, correct? Yes. Okay, the motion is to refer. All in favor, raise your hand. At 12 yes, motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion by Representative Hall, second by Representative Russo, to approve District 2 motion to pay Darren Oakey for his labor pending documentation. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Mr. Knife. Comments, Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods. Absent Steve Moran.
Yes.
Tim Knight Jr.
Yes.
John Kessler. Absent Kenrick DePreez. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller. Kelsey Haskell.
Yes.
Thad Rose.
Yes.
Derek Bartlett.
Yes.
Francine Hall. Yes. Joe Brings Plenty. Bob Walters. Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson. Thank you.
Twelve yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion is by Representative Whitebowl, second by Representative Russo, to refer the $277 Takini Schools attorney bill for a telephone call back to the Takini School Board for payment. And I understand that could be in-house, but I do want to go through with that referral. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
We got a motion by Ms. Haskell to refer to the Takini School Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lee. All in favor, raise your hand. We got 12 yes. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion was by Representative Bartlett, second by Representative Russo, to refer motions to the Claim and Legislation Committee to further develop of a budget and job description. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. That'll be my motion. And Mr. Chairman, I think your office was already aware of that. If we don't need to take action, we needed job descriptions for that funding request.
Okay.
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Chairman,
Go ahead.
you should read the, that's a generalized motion that the Secretary's office is gonna have to put down, because what they're gonna put down, correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Secretary, is that just the motion that's here, but you didn't identify who you're referring to. And so she won't be able to put that down in the minutes, so you need to put that on the record, correct, Madam Secretary? So you're doing it for the Wisdom Keepers, to develop a Wisdom Keepers budget for Director and Secretary. That needs to be part of the motion, so that when she does her motion, it just doesn't read, where is it?
No, I understand, Ms. Whitewell. I'm sorry. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought that this was referring to the two, there was 2 job descriptions that we needed for Mr. Chairman's office. I did not even notice that it was for the Wisdom Keepers Board, so thank you for
But I mean,
bringing that up.
it should be the record, because otherwise she's gonna be saying motion to refer to the chairman's office to referrals. And then people are gonna wonder, well, what referrals? So you should identify the entities, correct?
Yes, you are correct, because there's no information on that. You're right. So I'll just read this into record, and we could vote on it because it actually pertains to the Wisdom Keepers Board. I believe we had a letter submitted that was in our packet to develop a director and an assistant for positions. And they wanted a secretary and a treasurer for that committee. However, we were not able to allocate funds without the job description. The proper steps weren't taken for the job descriptions. So I can refer that. Wisdom Keepers, Mr. Bartlett, is that you? Or is that Mr. in the Woods?
It's me, Wisdom Keepers.
Okay, do you want to take that back to your committee, Mr. Bartlett?
Yes.
Thank you. No action needed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Ms. Whitebowl. Motion by Representative Bartlett, second by Representative Rose, to disapprove the Law and Order Committee's motion to get a travel credit card for the CRST Police Department. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. The motion carried. That'll be my motion. Don't need it? Okay, and it has been handled in another avenue, so we are supporting our police. It's just been handled differently.
Second.
Oh, we don't need any action. It was a disapproval. Next motion was by Representative Miller Whitebowl, second by Representative Russo, to refer to the administration for a HIP director's request for the 5% increase. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Weibel. It's a referral. All in favor, raise your hand. 12 yes, 0 no, motion carries. Ms. Haskell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next motion is a January referral from District 2 motion to support and for the CRST to assist Ms. Lacey Duchesneau with any legal fees and a reward regarding her daughter, Brianna Rain. The motion was by Representative Russo, second by Representative Miller to approve referral pending documentation. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Bringsplenny. Comments or questions on the motion? Madam Secretary, go ahead.
Where is this being referred to?
It was not being referred, Madam Secretary. It was a referral. It was referred to the Budget Committee. Yeah, and it was a request from District 2. The information is right above it. The January referral from District 2. I gave that supporting documentation because the motion alone by itself does not give you any information.
So just leave the motion how it's
Motion by
stated in your minutes?
It's very hard, Madam Secretary, because the way the motion reads is motion by Representative Russo, second by Representative Miller White Bull to approve referral pending documentation.
So that's how you want to leave it?
Can I amend that? Yes. Because what it should say is a motion to approve the request from District 2 to support Lacey Duchesneau with any legal fees and a reward regarding her daughter, pending documentation.
Okay, motion's been amended. The second's still there. No? Okay. Second's still there. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Bryce Woods,
Uh-huh.
Steve Moran,
Yes.
Tenai Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick DePreez, Sharon Lee,
Abstain.
Mary Miller,
Yes.
Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Yes.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Grigsby,
Up.
Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson.
Eleven yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion was by Representative Bartlett, second by Representative Russo to refer to the Cheyenne River Housing Authority the security positions for the manors in Eagle Butte, Dupree, and Timberlake. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. And I'm gonna have to reword that motion too, Madam Secretary, because it's the motion, the way it's written is not, there's not enough information in there. It just says a motion to refer to Housing Authority, and that's not gonna have any meat in it. I'm sorry, I didn't type these minutes. So I would like to amend that if that's okay. Thank you, that'll be my motion.
Second.
Okay, motions, we got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Lee regarding the Housing Authority to include the security positions for the manors of Eagle Butte, Dupree, and Timberlake.
Chairman, what's the timelines on that? Did you get any response from Housing Authority?
We let them know. We sent them a letter, and we followed up with them. They haven't responded yet. So this is a motion to refer to the Housing Authority. All in favor, raise your hand. 12 yes, 0 no. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion has already been taken care of regarding the DOT, so we can skip that one. Motion after that is motion by Representative Russo, second by Representative Lee to approve D. Lenz's horse for direct to vendor on the hotel, rental car, and airline request. The funding will come out of the veterans other in-kind funding. There was 8 yes, 0. Thank you.
By Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods,
Uh-huh.
Steve Moran, Ken Knife Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick DePreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller,
Yes.
Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Yes.
Francine Hall, Joe Brings Plenty, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson. Absent.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion by Representative Miller Whitebull, second by Representative Russo to pay the St. Emmanuel Church propane request in the amount of $4,916.79 direct to the vendor out of the bad debt account. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
We got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Mr. Walters. Comments, questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods,
Uh-huh.
Steve Moran,
Abstain.
Ken Knife Jr., John Kessler, absent Kenrick DePreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller, Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Yes.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joel Brings Plenty, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson. Absent.
Eleven yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My next motion is by Representative Hall, second by Vice Chairman Walters to approve the assistance for the upcoming Tetuan Oyate Elders Council to be taken out of miscellaneous line item from the tribe. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Hall. Comments or questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods,
Uh-huh.
Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ken Knife Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick DePreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller, Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Yes.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Brings Plenty, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson. Absent.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a motion by Representative Russo, second by Representative Miller Whitebull to approve the D. Lenz's horse request for food and gas in the amount of $2,000. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Second.
We got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods,
Uh-huh.
Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ken Knife Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick Dupreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller, Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes.
Derek Bartlett,
Abstain.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Brinksplenny, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson. Absent.
Mr. Chairman,
11 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 3 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Hall?
Mr. Chairman, could I ask, I thought we approved more than that. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I missed that.
Ms. Haskell, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a motion by Mr. Walters, motion by Vice Chairman Walters, second by Representative Rose, to take unbudgeted ARPA funds and move them into the day labor. There was 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Mr. Walters. Comments or questions? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Cinderwoods,
Oh,
Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ted Ives Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler, absent Kenrick Dupreez, Sharon Lee,
Yes.
Mary Miller, Kelsey Haskell,
Yes.
Thad Rose,
Yes. Yes.
Francine Hall,
Yes.
Joe Brinksplenny, Bob Walters, Ronald Russo, absent Tuffy Thompson.
Yes.
Thirteen yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a motion by Vice Chairman Walters, second by Representative Hall, amended to the budget and move $139,834.23 to the American Recovery Plan Act office. 9 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
You got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Hall. Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Cinderwoods, Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ted Ives Jr.,
Yes.
John Kessler,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thirteen yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Mrs. Haskell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next motion was by Representative Miller Whitebull, second by Representative Hall, to move the Insurance Division of the Human Resource Office to under the supervision of the CRST Treasurer. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Second.
We got a motion by Ms. Haskell, second by Ms. Lee. Comments or questions?
Question.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can they explain to us why it's going to be moved under the?
This was prompted by a series of issues related to insurance that aren't happening. They vary from not billing programs for months based on so that the funds can get paid by the programs versus having to go on general fund. It also had to do with insurance premiums not getting paid. Just a series of issues that it would make more sense if that group would be in with the finance so that we can coordinate the transfers and things that need to happen on insurance. If you guys remember a year ago or 9 months ago, we found out that insurance hadn't been billed back to our programs for 3 years or 4 years. So as a result of that, what had happened was a lot of these programs had their grants close out. Once their grants close out, they no longer have the ability to pay. So that burden falls on the general fund to pay them policies. There's also issues of items not being removed on property insurance. There's issues of employees not being added on insurance once they become employees. Employees not be taken off of insurance once they're no longer an employee. So there's a series of issues that has happened, and some of it continues to happen that if it was under the group under the treasurer's office with the contracting and the programs, it will be able to coordinate and move funds where they need to be from program to general fund to program, back and forth. So that was the discussion about it, and that resulted in the action.
Any more questions on the action? Madam Secretary, please call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods, Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ken Knight Jr.
Yes.
John Kessler. Absent Kenrick DePriest. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller.
Yes.
Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
$13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There is a motion by Representative Bartlett, second by Representative Russo, to pay the final per diem for the outgoing tribal council representatives, as well as for their computers and laptops and printers. I believe that was for when they exit their seat at the end of a term. There was 8 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain. Motion carried. That'll be my motion. Thank you.
Okay, we got a motion by Ms. Haskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lee. Ms. Weibo.
For the record, I exited the meeting early, and the motion says 8 yes. It probably should be 7 because I wasn't present. If you look at the notes, I left, it's noted that I left the meeting. I mean, so.
Hold on, Ms. Miller, after you left, there was no more action taken.
Okay.
But what I'm telling you is that there was motions left off of these, so when I revised them, they were added to the paper.
Right.
Unfortunately, it says you exited. That is correct. But I'm telling you that you were still there during these actions.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Bryce Underwoods, Steve Moran,
Yes.
Ken Knight Jr.
Yes.
John Kessler. Absent Kenrick DePriest. Sharon Lee.
Yes.
Mary Miller.
Abstain.
Kelsey Haskell.
Yes.
Thad Rose.
Yes.
Derek Bartlett.
Yes.
Francine Hall.
Yes.
Joe Brings Plenty. Bob Walters. Ronald Russo. Absent Tuffy Thompson.
Yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 2 absent. Motion carries. Ms. Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After that, there's a motion by Representative Rose, second by Vice Chairman Walters to adjourn. That concluded our meeting. Thank you.
Chairman, I got an issue with that red building, youth building in Dupree. I guess the water wasn't paid for 3 months, Mr. Treasurer, and they have a elders bingo tonight. So I guess Mr. Lemke down at water will get your call and turn us back on. But usually the treasurer covers that, the tribal buildings.
Yes, I talked to Sylvia this morning, and she was getting the bill over there, but she said it's not 3 months late. They add additional charges or something. She was gonna work with Lemke, but it was gonna get turned on, so.
Okay, all right. And there was a question on that HR position. Was that advertised, Chairman? You know, anybody?
I can check.
That HR director? Has that been advertised?
Not yet.
Is it gonna be a?
Yeah.
You're asking the question.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Let you know. Yep.
Soon?
Yep. Council, before we go on lunch, I have Mrs. Hayek wanted to address you. State your name for the record, Ms. Hayek, and you can proceed. I think you gotta press it a couple times. There you go.
It's on now? Okay.
Yep.
Good morning, Chairman, Treasurer, Secretary, Tribal Council, and listening public. My name is Muriel Vivian Hayek. I'm an elder. I'm almost 70 years old. And the reason why I came to you today, I had two issues. One is I've been going to the hospital here in Eagle Butte, IHS, emergency visits and at the regular clinic. And I haven't been feeling well. So I've been going to the clinic and the emergency room and the clinic were giving me antibiotics. And I had this little lump on me, and all of a sudden, you know, it just turned into a humongous lump. So I finally seen a doctor after all this time waiting, you know, for a referral. And I seen a physician or a specialist in Bismarck. And he asked me why, you know, there's things that weren't done, like a CAT scan or any kind of x-rays or anything of this lump. And I told him there's nothing done, just, you know, the antibiotics, and it never went away. So I sit here, I have ear pain, and that's been going on for quite a while. They prescribed me some pain meds, but they only did it for a couple weeks, and that was it. My pain is on my left side here, as you guys could all see. It's here. And I don't know what it could be. It could be cancer, who knows, I don't know. But I'm kind of walking on eggshells right now to know what it is. But the reason why I come before you is to ask for assistance, because I want to file a suit against IHS and their negligence or malpractice, whatever you want to call it. Because I don't think any of our people should suffer like that when we have supposed to, you know, have treaty rights here. So we should have good health care, but we don't. Many of our people died, from being mistreated or not diagnosed in time, or sent home with just over-the-counter drugs that we could just get from dollar store or drugstore downtown. And they must get paid, hundreds or thousands of dollars just for one visit. So I want to ask if any of you would make a motion to assist me with attorney fees or with an attorney to take action.
Mr. Brinks Plenty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've assisted people in the past with requests like this and refer to Budget and Finance.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Brinks Plenty to refer to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Second.
Second by Mr. In the Woods. All in favor, raise your hand. At 12 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Thank you, Tribal Council and Chairman
Yes,
and
ma'am.
executives. Okay, the other issue I brought to you today is KLND Radio has been broadcasting the Wounded Knee belongings, or been putting people on the radio to discuss that. And I know I've been on it a couple of times. But I was going to ask you as council to see if there's any way that you could possibly broadcast those, because majority of our descendants from Wounded Knee are here on Cheyenne River. They're in all the districts. So I was going to ask if that was possible for you to see if on Thursdays, if they could broadcast those same interviews, or I don't know what you'd call them, but they play them every morning from, I think it's 9 to 12 our time.
Vivian, you wanted that recorded on KIPI
Yes.
to play it?
Yeah.
I'll make that motion, and for that, that's good information, Chairman, and I'll refer it to the Chairman.
Okay, we got a motion by Mr. In the Woods, second by Mr. Brinks Plenty.
To have the Wounded Knee radio programming aired on KIPI.
On Saturday?
No. If they could air it, so at the same time.
Re-air it, or?
No, just
Live.
Same time, live?
Do it live, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So people on
They can
the,
hook up somehow to be able to play it.
Yeah.
yeah, so people from here could also get on the radio,
Okay.
Refer to you, Chairman.
speak.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. I got 13 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
And I have another thing I want to ask Cheyenne River. I know I came here before to see if there was an office that could be set up for Cheyenne River for the members that are descendants of Wounded Knee. If that's still possible, could you do that? I know recently with a meeting that was held at Grand River over the belongings and the Wounded Knee descendants that met. It didn't seem to go that well, and it seemed like there was a little bit of animosity going on or something, I just sensed it. And now I think, the group from Oglala just are shutting everybody out. And I was going to see, the chairman if he could step in there, because we need to have unity amongst all our people here, our tribes, especially with the Wounded Knee issue. This group, supposedly at one time, they got a bunch of money, to set up a school and whatnot, because they claimed that they were direct descendants of Bigfoot. And there's a lot of direct descendants. I know there's a man named Calvin Spotted Elk who claims he's a lineal descendant or direct descendant of Spotted Elk. And there's also people in LaPlante that are direct descendants. And there's our family in Greengrass that are direct descendants of Spotted Elk. So I want to know, what official list is this tribe or any of these groups going by? Because the more research I find, South Dakota Historical Archives put out a list recently, and there was 600 claims from Wounded Knee. And there was claims from Oglala, there was claims from Rosebud and Cheyenne River that were all descendants. They claimed, that were all part of the massacre, and they had witnesses on them. And I seen Bigfoot's name on there. I also seen Spotted Elk's name on there. So how many Spotted Elks and how many Bigfoots is there? That's my question.
There's only one, because Bigfoot, that's an Army derogatory name, and he goes to the Spotted Elk. But
Yeah,
it's not
but there's,
Ihaka. It's not Ihaka. It's
these lists that are put out. There was one that I read on radio here last Thursday. It was by Edward Two Bears. He was a member of the Red Scaffold community, and he described what happened at Wounded Knee, and he gave out a list. So I have that copy. And I have, whatever else was put out by different, groups. Every year, there's a list that's put out by different sources, like Native Sun News or Indian Country, they put out a list. But they all seem to differ. So I compile those, to just to compare. And some of them, have a couple of Bigfoots on there and a Spotted Elk, a couple of Spotted Elks, here and there. So we need to really find out or see who these people are. All this list that 600 claimants that claim to have filed claims for Wounded Knee. We need to see who these people are and how, who they're related to, what they got, in their claims, if they received anything. There's all that stuff out there. So I know these belongings, it's, okay to get them, to burn them, if they're going to do that. And I was thinking, I suggested that they should use them, in a court case against the United States for war crimes and genocide. And I'll say it again. Maybe it's time, to do that case. And we have a lot of attorneys here on Cheyenne River that could do that, could file for the people here, for the Chetishakoin, because there's a lot of descendants. There's not just Bigfoot and Spotted Elk. There's a lot of descendants. I hear stories. People call me and tell me stories. And I have oral stories that my father and mother shared. My late father, always told me, he said, you need to go record Grover Scott. I think he lived to be 100 and some years old. So I bought myself a micro cassette player back then. That was years and years ago. And that was my mission, to go and record him. Because he shares the story, I guess, about Bigfoot, about Wounded Knee. And he said he had a lot of stories. And I don't know if they were ever recorded. But he told me that Grover shared with him that he calls him his uncle. He said when the Bigfoot Sitting Bull's people came down, they came this way towards Spotted Eagle's camp. Spotted Eagle had a camp west of Greengrass. It's an area called Red Earth Country. The earth is all red around there. No, we used to ride out that way when we was younger. But that's where I guess they came and then headed this way towards the south, and then some of them were going towards Chargers Camp and some were going towards Bigfoot. And that's what my father shared with me about what Grover told him. And I never did get to, record Grover. But he supposedly was a descendant of Bigfoot too. But I was going to ask you guys, if it's possible, for you to help. I could help, set it up, set an office up, because we need to gather all this information, compile it, because I know we're being shut out by the Oglalas that were, claiming to be direct descendants or the only descendants of Bigfoot, when we have many here on Cheyenne River. And if the chairman could, mediate some of that, step in and mediate some of that, I think it'd be good. So I want to thank you, the Pilamapi, for giving me this time to share. And if there's something that you could do, to help us, help the people. Pilamapi.
Thank you, Ms. Hayok. Mr. Brinks-Loney?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, Ms. Hayat. Thank you for speaking and bringing up the issues. It's true. There's a lot of organizations out there that tack Wounded Knee onto whatever it is that they're doing as far as their business or program, and they get recognized for it, which usually pulls in funding for them. I know too that also Pennington County put in for a big grant, and they used the Wounded Knee massacre as one of the descriptions on who they were servicing, but nobody ever asked the Minicoja relatives about the history or even get permission. There's I think what we can do, and I know that you asked if we can do something to assist, and you asked for maybe an office to be identified for the Wounded Knee descendants, so they can start maybe compiling some of the information that's needed, even for a lot of our relatives to go and give the history and of their families' stories too. Down here, I did locate the cabin that were the 28 were supposed to have gathered when they came back, and they spent the night. They tended to their wounds. They ate, and they agreed not to talk about it before they went back into the communities, because there was militia still hunting them. There was military still hunting them. So they did. They went into the communities. They didn't discuss it anymore, for fear that the United States armies would be coming after them. I think that it's important especially now when you think about it. People were saying, what about the Hunkpapa? Those are our relatives too. They were involved as well. And the our Oglala relatives are saying, well, what about the Oglala? Well, the thing is that, being respectful, those are our relatives. Some of our relatives did stay in the area there, the Minikoju and Marion. Some history of families that are forgotten. You only see their names down there now, along the Winnie Knee Creek. But I remember when they made that movie and Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, it started at Standing Rock and completely erased the whole history of the Minikoju, the plight, even the killings that were happening before Spotted Elk and our relatives left south to seek refuge with Red Claw. Nobody was saying that there was any Minikoju even involved until Minikoju started to stand up and say, hey, these are our relatives here. Lakshia Ben Alkigo, he said, long time ago, they used to go down in wagons and they would clean up that whole area. He remembers that when he was a little boy. Talking to some people down there, he said, there used to be relatives from up north from here in Cheyenne River go down and they'll spend 2 weeks down by the gravesite cleaning up the area there. He said that then they'll come back. He said once a year they did that, and he said the last time that they've done that was probably in the 60s. But he said that also too, the history he gave is that for 2 years they were finding bodies all the way up, coming all the way back from people that were either subdued by their injuries or the elements, relatives of ours. So there's a lot of history. It's a sad history, but also too a history of resilience because we're still here. But I think it's really important that we don't forget this, and that we honor relatives in a good way with a good life. But maybe we can just refer this to the chairman's office so he can work on setting up an office that would be able to produce the work that's needed for this. I'll make that motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We got a motion by Mr. Brinksplenny, second by Mrs. Hall, refer to the chairman's office to help set up the Wounded Knee office. All in favor, raise your hand. 12 yes, 0 no, motion carries. Yes, ma'am.
Charles Eastman was a Dakota doctor. We all have read about or heard about him or even read some of his writings, but he was the doctor who at the Pine Ridge Agency, and he came up on the scene. Anyway, I'd like to read what he says. Fully 3 miles from the scene of the massacre, we found the body of a woman completely covered with a blanket of snow. And from this point on, we found them scattered along as they had been relentlessly hunted down and slaughtered while fleeing for their lives. Some of our people discovered relatives or friends among the dead, and there was much wailing and mourning. When we reached the spot where the Indian camp had stood, among the fragments of burned tents and other belongings, we saw frozen bodies lying close together or piled one upon another. It took all my nerve to keep my composure in the face of this spectacle and of the grief of my Indian companions, nearly every one of whom was crying aloud or singing his death song.
Okay, council, we heard from our relative. We thank her for her words, and we can take a lunch break for 1 hour. Okay. So come back about 2 p.m.
Pilama Epi. Lila.